In a busy cafe on a Saturday afternoon, Timothy sat alone at a table. Around him, people laughed and chatted. Friends met for coffee, and couples shared jokes. Timothy held his cup of tea, watching from a distance. He felt like he did not belong. When he tried to join a conversation, the words often escaped him. His heart raced as he thought about talking to strangers. This was a common scene for him, a moment filled with unease and confusion. Timothy wanted to connect with others, but the fear of not knowing what to say stopped him. Many people face this moment in their lives. It is not unusual to feel awkward in a social setting. Everyone feels nervous at some point. As Timothy observed the lively atmosphere, the pressure grew stronger. He thought his friends might judge him for being quiet. He worried that others would think he was unfriendly or shy. With each laugh he heard, anxiety filled his mind. People were making meaningful connections, while he felt stuck and unable to join in. This feeling made him want to leave. The closer he sat to the group, the more isolated he felt. Social pressure made a simple cafe visit into a heavy burden. How could he become part of the fun? Why was it so hard to break the ice with people? This situation is relatable for many. We all find ourselves in a social setting, whether at work, parties, or community events. Feeling left out can happen to anyone, even those who seem confident. That sense of isolation can be painful. You may feel everyone is in their own world, leaving you behind. When others laugh or smile, it can amplify the feeling of loneliness. Even at a gathering meant for joy, social struggles emerge for countless people. They might not know how to connect or feel afraid of saying the wrong thing. These social challenges are universal. Many have faced them at one time or another. Timothy's situation emphasizes a deep truth about human relationships. They are not always easy. People can feel lost in conversations or unsure how to start one. Feelings of awkwardness often go unnoticed because most people seem confident. However, below the surface, many struggle just like Timothy. It is comforting to know that these experiences are common. It means that there is room for growth and change. Where some see isolation, others can find an opportunity to learn social skills and build better relationships. Most importantly, these challenges invite everyone to take steps towards improvement. If we recognize that these moments of fear and insecurity exist, we can learn to overcome them. Discovering how to say no, ask questions, and engage in conversation can help build bridges. Timothy's story is just beginning, but it connects deeply to the hearts of many who share his experience. With each step, he will learn skills to improve his social life, fostering connections that matter and discovering the power of saying no when necessary. Through Timothy, we begin to see that enhancing social skills is a journey worth taking, leading to deeper relationships and greater happiness. Timothy felt the weight of the cafe's air pressing down on him. He stared into his cup of tea, wishing he could melt into it. The sounds around him felt distant. Laughter, cheerful voices, and matching smiles were everywhere. Timothy had come to this cafe hoping for a fun afternoon, but his nerves stole that joy. Like everyone else, he wanted to connect with others, yet the fear of speaking to them left him speechless. He wanted to fit in, but he felt invisible. In these moments of uncertainty, Timothy remembered past events. His mind replayed times when he had stepped into social gatherings, feeling excited yet vulnerable. There was always that moment when he hesitated at the door, heart racing as he imagined how people would see him. Timothy often stood on the edge of the social scene, watching others make connections without him. Felt lonely and hard, often making him want to leave. Every smile and laughter he witnessed seemed to remind him of his own struggle. Why did making friends seem so easy for others? The weight of these worries had built over time. Timothy had missed many chances to make new friends because he held back. He remained quiet during conversations, feeling unworthy to join in. When someone asked him a question, he stumbled over his words. His mind swirled with fear of saying the wrong thing. The thought of being rejected played on a loop in his head. This fear made Timothy hold back even more, causing a cycle of self-doubt to form. And so, with every interaction missed, his social skills became weaker. In his reflective moments, Timothy longed for change. He wanted to learn how to engage in conversations and express himself confidently. He knew that the first step was trying. While knowing this felt like a small spark of hope, it felt challenging to bring it to life. Timothy often thought, "What if I fail again?" But deep down, he understood that everyone struggles sometimes. He wanted to replace those negative thoughts with a sense of purpose and control. He believed it was possible to change. Gaining confidence felt essential for Timothy. As the afternoon passed, Timothy took a deep breath. He knew this feeling was not his forever. He could learn to say yes to new experiences and no to the fears holding him back. With each little attempt, he could make connections and practice his social skills. Maybe today would be different. Perhaps Timothy could reach out to a stranger or even join a conversation. With a heart ready for possibility, Timothy decided he would try. Even if he felt scared, he would push through those fears, step out of his comfort zone, and engage with those around him. Each moment offered a chance for growth. Timothy had the power to change his fate one conversation at a time. The feelings of nervousness could not defeat him today. He felt a small flicker of excitement at the thought of meeting new people. Social life could open many doors, and Timothy was determined to walk through them. With a hopeful heart, he readied himself to take the first step toward change, believing with all he had that improvement was possible. This was the first step on his journey to enhance his relationships and learn to communicate in a way that felt true to him. With determination growing in his heart, Timothy stood up from his seat. He felt ready to take action and start a conversation. He looked around the cafe and noticed a small group of people laughing together at a nearby table. Timothy felt hope. "This is my chance," he thought. But as he approached the table, anxiety crept back in. What would he say? How could he join the fun and fit in? Gathering his courage, Timothy took a step closer. But at that moment, the laughter seemed even louder. The smiles felt brighter. It was as if he could feel the bubble of confidence pop in his chest. Instead of reaching out, his feet felt heavy like they were stuck to the ground. He could hear his heart beating fast in his ears, and doubt washed over him. Timothy turned away, feeling defeated. Again, he let an opportunity slip through his fingers. After this small failure, Timothy returned to his table, feeling the weight of disappointment. He faced a sea of thoughts swirling in his mind. "I always mess up," he thought. "Why can't I ever do this?" He noticed a couple sitting across from him sharing a cute moment. They gazed into each other's eyes and laughed. The warmth between them felt so far away from him. Timothy wanted a connection that felt special. Yet, these little moments made him feel even more alone. Finally, Timothy summoned the courage to try again. He spotted a familiar face across the cafe. Sarah, an old classmate, sat with her friends. Timothy remembered how friendly she always was. Maybe she can help, he thought. Taking a deep breath, he made his way over. But again, the closer he got, the smaller he felt. Sarah was deep in conversation, and the group was loud and cheerful. He stood by the table, unable to pick the right moment to speak. Just as he decided to say hello, Sarah looked his way. A bright smile spread on her face. Instead of greeting her, Timothy let the moment pass. He was afraid of interrupting, afraid of seeming awkward. A few seconds felt like an eternity as he stood in silence. He expected to hear a kind word, but instead he felt ignored. Sarah looked back at her friends, and Timothy felt his resolve begin to crumble. In that moment, Timothy's stomach twisted with anxiety. Thoughts raced through his mind, telling him he wasn't enough. What if they don't want to talk to me? What if they laugh at me? With every passing second, Timothy's confidence dimmed. He turned and walked away, leaving Sarah behind. It felt like a huge sign of defeat, sending waves of disappointment crashing over him. As he returned to his lonely table, Timothy realized he needed to change his approach. Compliments or fun comments felt hard to think of. Playing off those thoughts made it challenging to speak. Mixing fear with excitement made social interactions nearly impossible. Just remembering the fun he wanted felt sad. Over time, Timothy noticed that even small moments of connection felt out of reach. But thoughts of trying again began swirling in Timothy's heart. He refused to give up despite feeling lost and awkward. The warmth in his chest reminded him how much he wanted real friendships. With every encounter, he could learn something new. Timothy knew he must push through these challenges to reach the friendships he dreamed about, one step at a time. Little moments of fear would give way to small moments of hope, and Timothy held onto that feeling tight as he prepared to embrace whatever came next. That night, Timothy sat in his room, feeling the weight of his day. He recalled moments where he felt alien to everyone around him. The laughter, the connections, and the simple joy of talking to others had slipped away. Timothy sat quietly, staring at the wall, lost in thoughts. Tears gathered in his eyes. It became clear that something needed to change. He was tired of feeling alone and helpless. But how? Just then, Timothy's phone pinged with a message from his friend Luke. "Hey, wanna grab lunch tomorrow?" It read. Timothy hesitated. Part of him wanted to say yes, to step out and try again. But another part wanted to stay home where it was safe. Silencing his mind, Timothy replied, "Sure, I will meet you." He spent that night replaying his past efforts, feeling frustration build inside him. The following day, Timothy met Luke at a little sandwich shop nearby, a place where people gathered to chat. As they sat down with their meals, Timothy felt nerves bubble again. Luke noticed his friend's unease right away. With a friendly stare, Luke leaned in. "Why do you look so worried, Timothy?" he asked gently. "I don't know how to make friends, Luke," Timothy confessed. "Every time I try, I mess it up. I feel really awkward." A knowing smile spread across Luke's face. "You are not alone in this," he said. "Everyone feels shy sometimes, even me. The trick is to practice. Try small steps, and don't worry about being perfect." Luke's words hung in the air like a light breeze. For the first time in a while, Timothy felt a spark of hope. He needed to hear this advice. Daring to be vulnerable, Timothy spoke about the moments when he backed away. He opened up about his fears of judgment. To his surprise, Luke listened without interruption, offering supportive nods. Timothy realized that sharing his thoughts made him feel lighter. After a while, the conversation shifted. Luke shared his own experiences of feeling awkward in social settings. Hearing someone else's stories made Timothy feel more at ease. He sensed that social struggles didn't only belong to him. This simple thing struck him in a profound way. It was refreshing and inspiring. They laughed together, making the best of this moment. They were building a connection in real time. As Timothy left the café, his heart swelled with determination. It was time to focus on improving himself. For the first time, he felt encouraged to change. Luke had opened his eyes to the possibility of learning. Timothy knew he couldn't stay inside his fears any longer. Every failed attempt at social interaction was a step toward better skills. He started envisioning ways he could grow. Timothy promised himself he would practice small chats every day. He decided to stop worrying about being perfect. Instead, he would celebrate progress no matter how small. Longing to break free from his old habits, Timothy recognized that change required action. With each new attempt, he could step closer to the friendships he desired. As he walked home, Timothy felt lighter than before. He would face the world with courage. Each word he spoke became an opportunity to connect. Filled with hope and excitement, Timothy realized that he was finally ready to turn his social struggles into learning experiences. Today, he would choose to embrace new beginnings. This was his turning point where change would begin. The next day, Timothy woke up determined. He was ready to put his plan into action. As he dressed for work, he thought about his goal to improve his social skills. Making small conversations felt like a challenge, but he felt prepared. He wanted to trust himself more. When he arrived at the office, he took a deep breath, reminding himself to stay calm. Upon entering, Timothy saw his colleague Mark at the coffee machine. This was his chance. Remembering Luke's advice, he walked over with a smile on his face. "Morning, Mark. How is your week going?" Timothy asked, forcing himself to make eye contact. Mark looked up, surprised. "Hey, Timothy. My week is good. Just busy with projects. How about you?" The sentence flowed smoothly. Timothy was surprised how easy it felt to talk to Mark. They exchanged a few remarks, talking about work and weekend plans. Timothy felt his heart racing, but he pushed through the nervousness. He listened actively as Mark spoke about a new movie he wanted to see. Timothy nodded and smiled, showing he was interested. This small conversation opened a door. After the chat with Mark, Timothy felt triumphant. He had taken the first step toward growing his social skills. Encouraged by this success, he decided to keep trying. At lunchtime, he sat down with two teammates, Jenny and Karen. Instead of focusing on his uncertainty, he joined their discussion about a recent office event. "I heard the lunch gathering was fun," Timothy chimed in. "Nobody danced like I did," Jenny joked with a laugh. Timothy grinned and said, "I would have joined you." This was surprising for him. His comments flowed more easily as they talked. They teased each other over lunch, sharing laughter and stories. Timothy engaged more, asking questions about their hobbies. With every interaction, he felt more confident. Later, in the break room, Timothy caught himself practicing eye contact. He discussed the coffee machine's sudden breakdown with a group of coworkers. Each time he looked up to meet their gaze, a warm feeling grew in his chest. These small actions were changing how he felt about himself. People responded to his energy. Timothy learned the power of looking someone in the eye. It built a genuine connection that just words couldn't. Feeling encouraged, Timothy decided to try one more small action that day. Before leaving the office, he approached Ellie, a coworker he admired. "Hi, Ellie. Your presentation last week was amazing," he said with sincerity. She smiled brightly and thanked him. Minor compliments felt easier now, and Timothy realized the importance of expressing appreciation. Ellie's response boosted Timothy's mood even more. Conversations piled up, each one feeding his confidence and breaking down the walls of doubt. When Timothy finished his workday, he felt a sense of pride swelling inside him. Even small victories mattered, building his courage over time. As Timothy took the bus home, he reflected on the change he felt. It was exciting to discuss ideas and connect with his coworkers. He kept repeating a thought: each small step leads to bigger changes. Timothy understood that social skills were not a race but a journey. Each interaction was a chance to learn and grow, building connections along the way. Emboldened by the successful day, Timothy decided he would return to the café the next weekend. He wanted to reach out to someone new. Trusting himself felt easier as he visualized what his future could hold. Changing was possible, and the love for connecting with new people would guide him. Today, Timothy took steps from frustration toward confidence, revealing that the starting point was just around the corner. Following action, after that productive day at work, Timothy felt inspired to continue using his new social skills. He discovered the more he practiced, the more comfortable he felt engaging with both coworkers and strangers. Each day brought new chances to connect, and he embraced them fully. At the office, Timothy took note of how he felt during conversations. There were no longer fears holding him back. He found himself able to ask for help when needed and offer a kind word to those around him. The nervousness that had once plagued him faded gradually. One afternoon, Timothy joined a small group of coworkers discussing lunch options. As he joined the circle, he took a moment to gather his thoughts. This time, he felt calmer, more at ease than before. "I heard the new pasta place is great," he said, wanting to join in. With a warm smile, Jenny replied, "That sounds good. I was hoping we'd try it." Timothy felt a rush of happiness wash over him. Being part of the group felt rewarding. Days became weeks, and Timothy noticed improvements in all his relationships. He made small talk with neighbors during evening walks and laughed with colleagues over lunch. Each short conversation added to his confidence. Being friendly suddenly became natural. He even discovered that listening was key. He made sure to pay attention when others shared stories. He would now ask follow-up questions, showing that he cared. Timothy realized the importance of engaging in acts of kindness. Each time Timothy practiced his skills, the support he received from others made him feel more alive. His colleagues began to open up as well, sharing thoughts and stories more freely. Timothy appreciated the shared conversations and laughed at the friendly jokes. The warmth within the group set a welcoming vibe that made everyone feel closer. Timothy celebrated these moments but knew it was only the start. With each experience, he felt newly energized to continue learning. He often reflected on how much he had grown in such a short time. Just weeks before, social interactions seemed like mountains impossible to climb. Now, they felt like new paths full of opportunities. Timothy kept track of his progress in a small journal. Each day, he would note the simple moments of connection and how they made him feel. Reading those positives filled him with a sense of pride. Pages became colorful with descriptions of laughter, discussions, and even new friendships forming. Timothy felt powerful, realizing he had the ability to shape his relationships with confidence. He learned that practicing small talk was not a race. It was built on small, steady steps that led to bigger connections. On a sunny Saturday, while waiting in line at the café, Timothy saw a woman sitting alone. They made eye contact and she smiled warmly at him. This new spark of connection made Timothy brave. Instead of looking away, he approached her and said, "Hi there. I hope you're having a lovely day." Her smile grew wider, and they soon exchanged stories about their favorite books. Timothy couldn't believe it. This was growth that came from his effort and patience. Feeling grateful and hopeful, Timothy understood that transforming social interactions was within his control. He knew each step forward was rooted in practice and mindfulness. No longer defined by his past struggles, Timothy faced the future with renewed energy. He looked forward to each new day, eager to explore more connections that brought joy not only to him but also to those around him. The power to change was blossoming within him, allowing for authentic relationships filled with warmth and understanding. As Timothy continued to build new connections, some challenges emerged in his workplace. Although he brought warmth and kindness to his interactions, he started noticing the behavior of his boss, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris was often dismissive and critical of staff. Timothy had previously done his best to ignore it, but the atmosphere began to feel heavy and toxic. He realized this kind of treatment affected everyone's mood, including his own. One afternoon, Timothy witnessed Mr. Harris belittling a colleague during a team meeting. The colleague, Sarah, looked embarrassed and sad. Instead of staying quiet as he had done in the past, Timothy felt a spark inside him urging for change. He knew he could not let this continue without speaking up. It was time to stand for himself and others. With his heart racing, Timothy decided to address the issue with courage. After the meeting, Timothy approached Sarah in the break room. "I just want to say, you did a great job presenting today," he encouraged, hoping to lift her spirits. Sarah smiled weakly. "Thanks, Timothy." It was hard to hear those words. Timothy understood fully, and he nodded solemnly. "We should not let him talk to us that way. It's not right." That realization struck both of them deeply as they shared their concerns. Fueled by a sense of responsibility, Timothy felt a powerful shift in his mindset. He sensed that setting boundaries mattered not only for himself but also for his colleagues. Information spread quickly, and soon Timothy approached other coworkers to speak about what he had witnessed. They shared stories of their own experiences with Mr. Harris. They agreed that something had to change within the office culture. Taking their stories seriously, Timothy decided to report the behavior to HR, refusing to be a bystander. This decision solidified his newfound strength. When Timothy reported the matter, he felt mixed emotions. Deep down, he worried that others might criticize him for doing so. However, he was surprised by the reactions of his coworkers. They admired his bravery and came to support him. Several agreed to speak with HR, too, confirming that Mr. Harris's behavior marked a serious concern. They realized the strength in unity. Timothy felt a wave of relief knowing he was not alone. As they spoke to HR, Timothy noticed a change among his peers. Confidence grew stronger among his colleagues as they spoke openly. The support they shared empowered everyone to seek positive changes in their work lives. Weeks passed, and the team began to feel safer expressing themselves and working together. Timothy found joy in fostering this new atmosphere. However, Mr. Harris seemed resistant to the feedback he received from HR. The tension grew evident as he reacted defensively when coworkers approached him. Timothy felt a mixture of fear and determination. Regardless of his anger, he knew he had done what was right. The important choice he made directed him toward healthier relationships, both personally and professionally. Within those tense moments, Timothy appreciated the community he was starting to build. Everyone felt stronger when together. The weight lifted gradually, and teamwork flourished. Slowly, the office environment transformed from one of fear to one of support. Timothy was proud to play a role in this significant change. Now feeling empowered, he was ready to face bigger chances ahead. Each day offered new learning moments, and Timothy's journey to foster positive connections inspired him to continue setting healthy boundaries. As the weeks passed, the atmosphere in the office slowly began to change for the better. Timothy felt a sense of pride in himself and his coworkers. Each day brought new opportunities, and the bond between them grew stronger. People became more open with their thoughts and feelings. Felt like a breath of fresh air. Even Mr. Harris was changing, reflecting on his actions. The sessions with HR made him think about how he treated others. One morning, Timothy worked hard on a project he felt passionate about. He connected the dots between research and ideas, presenting his findings during the team meeting. As he spoke, Timothy felt some nerves but also a flow of excitement. His coworkers listened closely and provided feedback that was supportive and encouraging. Everyone enjoyed the new way of communicating, which helped Timothy feel confident. After the meeting ended, something unexpected happened. As teammates shared their thoughts, Patrick, a quiet coworker, stood up and addressed Mr. Harris directly. "I believe Timothy's project is a great direction for us," he said, his voice steady. "This approach can help us grow and reach our goals." Timothy's heart soared. This kind of support felt special. It marked a significant shift from the way they had worked before. Hearing that Patrick spoke up initiated a small but meaningful win. Timothy felt the power of unity within the team. It was clear they were becoming a supportive bunch, encouraging one another. This moment solidified for Timothy that their journey of learning new social skills and setting healthy boundaries worked well. He felt proud that he changed not just himself but also others around him. Each action they took contributed to this collective growth. After the meeting, Timothy approached Patrick. "Thank you for speaking up today," Timothy said, a big smile on his face. "It meant a lot to me." Patrick grinned shyly, saying, "We all need to help each other." Timothy felt blessed by this friendship they had built slowly. It was a reminder that they were in this together, supporting one another with every small win. Motivated by the positivity around him, Timothy reflected on his journey. He thought about how he could help others shine too. He decided to offer to mentor a new intern joining their team. This role felt empowering and fulfilling, offering Timothy a way to pay forward the support he had received. As he prepared to guide his new teammate, Timothy laid out a plan. He aimed to share tips on tackling challenges and building confidence. They could practice small talk, work on communication techniques, and learn about setting boundaries. Each step would feel approachable and easy, making a difference. Timothy wanted to ensure the intern felt welcomed, just as he had appreciated every act of kindness that came his way. At that moment, Timothy understood the value of growth. The work environment started feeling safe and healthy, encouraging collaboration and friendship. Timothy felt excited to discover the possibilities that lay ahead. Reflecting on this incredible journey, Timothy realized that every choice made in love and support could transform his world. He wanted to encourage others to follow the same path. Every small step mattered, helping people become better versions of themselves. Fresh energy flowed through him, eager to embrace each moment that created connections. Timothy felt ready to continue moving forward with hope and dedication. Resolution. As the weeks safely passed, Timothy built a life filled with connection and positivity. Walking into the office each day felt different. Now he entered with a sense of purpose. The environment had transformed, and so had Timothy. His relationships with coworkers became more meaningful, growing beyond simple conversations. He found warm friendships developed through shared laughter, stories, and support. One afternoon, the team gathered for lunch outside. Seated together, Timothy held conversations with ease, telling jokes and sharing memories. It was during one of those moments that he noticed how everyone felt comfortable allowing their true selves to show. Timothy became aware that each member brought something special to the group. The feeling of teamwork felt electric. It was gratifying to see how his dedication to improving social skills created a safe space for all of them. Timothy felt empowered by how far he had come. Despite the initial challenges, he learned to value the power of communication and connection. Seeking the kindness in everyone made the work environment lighter and much more enjoyable. Collaborating on projects became easier as ideas flowed naturally. There was no more fear in speaking up, just confidence. Timothy began to help facilitate meetings, guiding discussions and sharing ideas. This newfound role filled him with pride. He felt capable and others noticed. His personal life began to mirror this growth. Friends outside of work reached out more as they sensed Timothy's energy shifting. He realized he was adopting his social beliefs, which led to stronger relationships with old friends. He reached out to connect directly and make plans, which they eagerly accepted. Zoom calls transformed into coffee dates full of heartwarming stories and laughter. Timothy cherished these moments as treasures. By embracing what it meant to communicate authentically, deep friendships developed. The walls Timothy put up started to break down slowly. Old fears of isolation vanished as he recognized the joy in letting others in. These experiences brought meaningful joy, illustrating how practicing empathy and nurturing respect help people grow. One day, while sharing a laugh with Sarah during lunch at the office, she leaned back and said, "I admire how far you have come, Timothy. You inspire us all." Her words warmed his heart. He realized it wasn't just him feeling empowered. He was inspiring others to embrace their social lives too. That gave him a new sense of responsibility. Encouraging others made his journey all the more meaningful. Timothy knew he still had obstacles ahead, but he felt equipped to face them. Having learned the importance of boundaries and kindness, Timothy approached every challenge now with excitement instead of fear. Communication opened doors that once felt shut and impossible to open. As he reflected on these moments in his life, Timothy felt grateful for those who had supported him along the way. Each interaction, each act of kindness, layered one atop the other, filled his journey with purpose and joy. Empowered by these experiences, he was determined to develop more connections, mentor others, and inspire positivity everywhere he went. He was now an active and confident participant in both his work and personal life. Determined to help others find their voices and break free from social struggles, Timothy felt a sense of belonging. Through his journey of resilience and growth, Timothy learned that by believing in himself, he could change not only his world but the world of others, too. As the weeks went by, Timothy continued to embrace his new social skills and empowered life. With each passing day, he felt more connected to his co-workers, friends, and himself. The confidence he gained influenced all areas of his life. What started as an effort to improve at work blossomed into an exciting journey of self-discovery. As Timothy looked toward the future, he felt a growing sense of excitement. He realized it was time to explore new opportunities that aligned with his passions and dreams. One Friday afternoon, his manager held a team meeting to discuss future projects. During the meeting, Timothy learned about an upcoming initiative, an outreach program aimed at helping local communities through workshops and training. This captured his attention immediately. The prospect of sharing his skills and experiences felt perfect for him. Feeling bold, Timothy raised his hand and expressed his interest in leading this initiative. "I would love to help organize this workshop. I think we could make a real difference," he said, his voice steady. The room filled with supportive nods as Sarah chimed in. "Yes, Timothy, you would be great for this." Timothy beamed at the encouragement. Through this collective support, he understood the value of pursuing the things he was passionate about. Over the next weeks, Timothy poured his heart into this new project. He planned meetings, coordinated activities, and reached out to people in the community. Each interaction reminded him of the importance of connection. Even when challenges arose, Timothy felt equipped to navigate them. His newfound confidence guided him through difficulties and gave him a stronger mindset to face obstacles head-on. Impressively, the outreach program became a success. The workshops were well attended, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. As Timothy witnessed how these gatherings brought people together, he felt a sense of fulfillment he had always hoped for. The experience deepened friendships and built connections between his co-workers and community members in ways he had never imagined. Beyond work, Timothy continued to focus on maintaining healthier habits in his personal life. He began cycling in the mornings to stay active and clear his mind. This simple act became a routine that recharged his energy. He found that physical activity improved not just his health but also his mood and mindset. Feeling good energized him for each new day, sparking his creativity. With the outreach program blooming and personal growth blooming, Timothy looked forward to even greater opportunities. He always remembered to extend support to his friends as he grew. He valued their efforts to keep building this stronger network together. Even outside the office, he motivated others to join him for weekend rides or social events. As the seasons changed, Timothy realized he had shifted in a refreshing way. What once felt daunting now seemed manageable. He discovered that by embracing challenges, he could thrive and help others to do the same. Reflecting on his journey, Timothy felt gratitude for every step that had brought him to this moment. He became confident that he could face the future with courage and resilience. No longer limited by fear, he was ready to navigate life with newfound strength. With positive thoughts and a growing circle of friends and supporters, Timothy stepped into a bright future filled with possibilities. Inspired and hopeful, he embraced every chance to connect, show kindness, and uplift those around him. This was just the beginning of a beautiful journey ahead.